All right, guys, Coach Laird here, coming at you with a hitting tip or a hitting philosophy, if you will. I was told that basically there's a guy involved in baseball talking about there's certain types of hitters that work well with certain types of instructors. And not from like a personality standpoint, but basically saying that kids at younger ages, you can immediately tell if they're going to be a contact hitter or a power hitter or, guy that's going to swing and miss a lot. And, here's the thing is there's a lot of guys that will always have opinions. Everybody's entitled to their opinions. However, for me, and this is a rule I have, you watch old videos, there has to be someone that has walk to walk. They talk the talk, but they have also walked the walk. And I'll be PC with my video today, but essentially you listen to people talk, and for me in the baseball game, strength training game, speed, athlete development, whatever, you can really find out pretty quickly, over time specifically 100%, but you can find out if someone's understanding of the game or not. And the problem is with stuff like baseball and lifting weights, it's something that everybody has done or at least tried at one point. So, it's kind of like that person that reads one article online and they immediately, they have all the experience in the world and they know everything about everything. And, but in the real world, people that are professionals or experts in the game, the smarter that you get, the more you realize you don't know, right? And you could know a lot and still be considered an expert, but there's so much knowledge and so much information out there. And there are, irrefutable rules and there are, irrefutable facts that you learn in long-term of the game. But, for me with hitting, I've done over 20,000 hours of instruction for hitting. That's crazy. It's crazy, right? It's 10,000 hours to be considered an expert in your field. And again, enough of the flexing and all that crap. I say that all with humility. You know what I mean? Anybody that's very good at what they do should be able to say these things without some insecure prick freaking out about it, right? But the world is what it is. So, first and foremost, when you're looking at athletes, you don't know shit about athletes until they've at least hit puberty. You have no idea what an athlete's going to do. I have seen kids that can't walk and chew gum, can barely put a barbell on the back, throw absolute gas and hit absolute nukes that didn't have any power when they were younger. They learned. And also with hitting, when you say this kid's going to be a power hitter, there are some that you can see and go, this guy's going to be a stud. I trained one of my first guys ever when I moved back from Indiana. I watched this kid 10, 11 years old. I go, this guy's going to be an absolute stud. And he is. He's a pro ball player right now. And you just knew. But that is that's less than 5%, if that, maybe 1%, 2%, I don't know. It's very low. But the majority of kids, you see kids, especially if you listen to actual stories of people that have played this game, a lot of them are late developers. A lot of them were counted out. And so when I hear people say things like, hey, this guy is going to be this type of hitter at 8 years old, or this guy's going to be that type of hitter, here's the thing about hitting, okay? It is the hardest thing to do in sports. So when it's the hardest thing to do in sports, it blows my mind when people talk in absolutes. And especially with hitting for power or being a contact guy or a swing and miss guy or whatever, this guy would happen to be talking about. The fact of the matter is that you have to master the skill of hitting, the ability to hit line drives to all fields, the ability to hit consistent line drives, the ability to find barrels consistently long before you become a power hitter. And I'm not talking about a bigger or an overweight kid or a naturally strong kid at 12 years old. 12 and under doesn't matter. Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. I'm sorry. Youth league baseball, it doesn't matter. It doesn't project. There's a lot of guys that dominate at youth leagues that can't do shit when they get older. And a lot of youth leagues is about who developed physically earlier. And you see those kids, they go to the next level. I'll give you some cues. This is what you look for with youth hitters. And first of all, instructors are instructors. Everybody's going to have their different philosophies, and everybody's going to understand and teach things differently. But the best instructors, they have a philosophy, they have a template, and they adjust the template based on weaknesses. For me, I have an exercise science background. So I see movements and I see things that people don't see. I know how to train certain movements, mobility, stability, core movements that other people don't know. There are a lot of people that do know it, right? Well, I shouldn't say a lot. There are people that do know that. And they're great. I know them. I have good friends. One of my best buddies is really great at it. But that's the thing is like, to speak in absolutes and saying that young kids are going to be a certain type of hitter, it literally makes you, unless it's one of those, that 3% or 2% or whatever, it makes you seem like an asshole, like you don't know what you're talking about. Now, if you're talking to about a 15-year-old or 16-year-old kid, maybe I'll listen. But at the same time, again, I have seen kids at 14, 15 years old end up becoming absolute superstars and developing power or whatever when they get older. But to say that certain kids are going to be certain things, but also that only certain instructors, like here's the thing, a great instructor in this game, a great instructor can work with anybody, whether they're a contact hitter or a base hit bunter or a guy that can hit for power or they can teach power. You work with each kid's physical, mental, and emotional limitations, their strengths and their weaknesses. So, as an instructor, as you do that, as a teacher, like that's the whole point of being a coach. You work with what you got and then you build weaknesses, right? You increase the strengths, maintain the strengths while increasing them, but you focus on attacking the weaknesses because at the end of the day, you're only going to be as strong as your weakest link as a hitter. So, for saying certain instructors or this guy saying certain instructors work well with certain players, you're pigeonholing the kid. And, it's just like that quote right here, the man in the arena. When I listen to people talk, unless you've had experience, unless you're in the arena, I really don't care. I really don't care what the person has to say. My respect factor immediately goes if you're here in the arena. But listening and hearing this and someone saying those things, I've also heard coaches say like, hey, this guy's never had it throw hard. This guy's bat speed's maxed out. There was a college guy one time that said this kid's bat speed is maxed out. How the hell do you know that? Do you train him? Have you seen what he does behind the scenes? Stop pigeonholing kids and stop saying absolutes when you don't know what you're talking about. Wait until they grow up. Wait till they hit puberty for you to have an idea what's going to happen. Coach Laird hitting. It's not a specific instructor. It's not a specific philosophy. Each great coach has their own philosophy and they build upon it. At the end of the day, consistency is king. You're not going to know what a kid has until he's older, hit puberty, and he's consistent with his training. Out.